All right, everyone. Welcome back once again to this Complexity Scrims cast. I'm your casting host, Beef. Oh, man, there's a lot of people watching today. Thank you very much for all making this a beautiful first cast, first day here with Complexity for me. This is just day one for Complexity Scrims. So these are definitely not the final situations. We're going to be doing a lot of tweaking with the stream. Everyone talking about quality. That is definitely going to be an option after today. We'll be able to get that resolution changer in so that nobody's lagging. But thank you very much for taking the time to be with me today. This is going to be game 3 in this scrim series between Complexity and TT Esports. Right now the score is at 1-1, so I'm definitely looking forward to this tiebreaker match between these two teams today. Oh man, that last game was absolutely fantastic. The Magmus being able to really farm in that super early game, getting that farm up. The Hag making sure not to die at all middle, and then being able to get the levels that she needs. Not necessarily the farm, but the levels, as well as Moon Meander playing an absolutely superb suicide right there. Really got everything that needed to happen, and we saw it there. In that second to last fight in the mid lane, just past the river, as Tempest went. Tempest caught 3 players inside of the ult. We had the Magmus Eruption come out. We had the Magmus Lava Surge. We had the Hag come in with the Sonar Scream Bat Blast combination, and those players just disintegrated. Even following up onto the 4th player, Flux right there. That was absolutely what Complexity needed to do to take that game home, and take that game home they did. But now in game 3, we have something a little bit different. And actually give me 1 second here to try to get something sorted out. Phil's talking if we want a co-caster, so I'm just going to go ahead and check with that real quick if that's something that we want to do. But yeah, in this game, we actually do have the blind bans coming out once again. Ophelia and Tundra and Wild Soul, 3 out of the 4 from last game. Pepple's actually being blind banned rather than standard banned in this game, so definitely a little bit different right there. But Wild Soul, once again, not going to be entering this game. Such a strong hero. Tundra, the ability to really see the map, get that scouting information out, and jump in and really get that that lockdown started on one hero. So definitely not going to be happening right there with that Tundra. So he's not going to be coming out. It looks like right now we're just going to go ahead and finish out today with a solo cast. This is going to be the last game before we do take a little bit of a break just for lunch, and so I can rest my voice, go get some tea a little bit. It's been a long time since I've done this much casting right in a row solo, so definitely need to get that tea, make sure that I don't lose my voice, because I want to be back here tomorrow casting more games for you guys. So we got to make that happen. The lockpick going to go ahead and finish up here. If we have Bubbles, Wretched Hag, Flux, Keeper of the Forest, Aluna, and Pharaoh. So we don't see Gunblade. We don't see any other strange heroes like Revenant in the lockpick today. Definitely not going to be happening right there. But Bubbles, something that we've seen in both these games right there. Definitely potential. Keeper, both games, definitely potential to be picked a little bit later. And we'll have to see how that comes in. The Hag, even there. And something like Pharaoh. Pharaoh, another one of those heroes, one of my favorites that brings so much potential into the game, so much potential for action. And a hero that really has a lot of different places in different areas throughout the game. He's able to do suicide lanes. He's able to do side lane solos, mids. He's even able to farm lane with even another melee. He can definitely do it. But first pick coming out right there is, in fact, Fade. Real quick, want to go over these bans. The bans were, in fact, Meraxis, Dark Lady, Parasite, Silhouette, Engineer, and Tempest. So Tempest, no Moon Meander Tempest this game. No huge ultimates coming out this time. Oh, man. Dark Lady, once again, being banned here by Slicks on TT Esports. So not going to happen there as well. Won't be seeing the hard carry come out. Parasite, one of the strongest junglers in the game. Definitely not going to be making his way in either. An Engineer being played by Leon Black last game definitely did a lot of work there mid. He was able to get some really big keg stuns. The energy field was there in a lot of the team fights, but not necessarily having the impact that you really wanted it to in that game. But not in this one. Fade first pick, counter picked there by Slither and Soul Stealer. So Soul Stealer, a hero that we do not see a ton, but definitely a hero that B-Kid actually is known pretty much for playing. Also Slicks. Slicks, one of the oldest Soul Stealer players in the game, and is immediately swapped to Slicks there. So definitely could see that in that mid lane situation. We'll have to see if it's going to be a dual lane in mid to try to deal with that Soul Stealer or not. But Fade, definitely one of those heroes that can be played in a lot of different capacities as well. You can stick Striders on her and really just turn her into these almost warding support, and really just the ability to move around while invisible, get that initiation. You can stick a Codex on her and get that huge burst potential, or even a portal key and really get that gotcha potential. But there is a Magebane coming out of Haxorun. So Magebane pickers indeed. Haxorun, the hard farmer, the ricer here for Complexity, definitely going to be sticking with that hero. And definitely expect to see a lot of farm coming out of him. One of the strongest heroes, known as one of the strongest heroes in the game for a reason. Nymphora as well, making it through the lockpick, making it through the bans. Nice early Nymphora pick there. Is going to give the rest of Complexity the ability to really make their way around the map. Tag teamed up with a hero like Fade. And we'll see about this last pick. If you tag team it with Fade, in one other super strong stunner, once she hits that level 11, they make such a strong 3-man ganking team. Keeper of the Forest coming out as well, going to be able to get that push. Keeper definitely making a resurgence here in the metagame. Really was a super popular hero when that hero first came out, and was able to get a lot of utility with those tree dogs, with that pushing potential early when that hero was reworked. Seen a little bit less these days, but definitely making a return. Now Bubbles going to be coming in, definitely going to be swapping that to Moon Meander right there, as he's going to be taking a suicide situation. Definitely looks like it's going to be Nymphora Magebane bottom with Keeper of the Forest most likely in that jungle with a Fade mid. On the other side of the map, we do have Soul Stealer on Slick, Slither being played by Whitalaba, Leon Black on the Behemoth, Flux on the Moravius, and Riser with the Pharaoh. So if we take a look at those lanes, those are a little bit harder to read there. So we'll see how those heroes do make their way into the lane. One thing's for sure, I am looking forward to seeing Slicks on this Soul Stealer. Such a farm hero. He gets so much done once he's able to get that level 7 Demon Hands, able to push, eliminate creep waves so fast, and get that presence throughout the game. It's kind of funny because one of his skills is called Dark Lord Presence, but you don't care about that. Once he's able to get an Assassin's Shroud or a Portal Key, the ability to position himself so strongly to get that ultimate off, to get those Demon Hands off, and do so much damage to the opposing team. Definitely cannot wait for that. And yeah, I'm actually not able to get that up. I was told you guys wanted the numbers. Unfortunately, that would require a restart of my HoN while we're on break after this game. I will definitely get that started. I'm sorry about that. I don't know why that's gone right there. I apologize, but we will get that sorted out. We got the items up now as well. So definitely going to be a pretty good game here. Going to be very interesting. The pushing power from this tree is really one of the only things that this tree does have. Oh, excuse me, the team has in terms of pushing power. Fade, not a pusher. Bubbles, not really a pusher. But the tree, so he's going to be their main source of pushing potential. He's going to try to put pressure in different locations. Click on the HP and mana bars. Oh, okay, there we go. See, I'm new to some of this interface type stuff. For some reason, got all screwed up. Thank you very much. Yeah, there we go. So tree's going to try to put a lot of pressure onto other lanes to try to detract the enemy team from focusing on the Magebane. The entire goal for this team is to protect the Magebane's farm, get him as fat as possible, and allow him to carry them into late game. So that's what their goal is going to be. On the other side, it's going to be all about protecting the Soul Stealer in the early game. It's going to be all about getting Slicks those triple stacks that he needs very early on into the game, and then being able to counteract the Magebane. Slither going to be able to get in there and babysit whoever he's going to be babysitting. Behemoth going to be looking to get that portal key nice and early so that he's able to get in there, get the early initiation off on somebody like the Magebane or the Bubbles or the Fade. Get in there and be able to do the damage, get the stuns out before the Legion team is able to initiate themselves. And Pharaoh. Pharaoh's just going to be in there doing whatever the hell he wants. He's going to be a tanky dude. Riser, one of the suicide players here for TT Esports, so we'll probably see him in that situation. But yeah, Pharaoh, we're just going to be seeing some sweet hooks coming out of him. and I'm looking forward to this game. I think it's going to be absolutely awesome. We also see Moravius on Flux, just like in last game, and Flux actually did a fantastic job last game of really going up against Moon Meander's Suicide Tempest. We'll see if that does happen once again, or what the laning situation is like right here. We'll see what this pause is all about. Hopefully get this started back up in just a moment here. But yeah, that's pretty much the story of game one right now. I'm really looking forward to seeing how this Nymphora and the Fade do combo together. Once Nymphora hits 6, the ability to really teleport this Fade around, and the ability of this Nymphora to get somewhere where you cannot see them on the minimap. Wards really lose some of their effectiveness when you have that Fade and that Nymphora teleporting all around the map. You're not able to see it coming. That's what's important here. She's going to teleport in somewhere right here. You're not going to have a ward that's covering right there, right there, right here. Those wards aren't going to spot her if she teleports in right here. If you're trying to get your farm up on one of your heroes, if your Soul Stealer is trying to get those triple stacks farmed in these locations, and all of a sudden there's a Fade and Nymphora that we're able to get into there unseen, then that's going to be a very, very bad situation for Slicks on that Soul Stealer. Indeed, it looks like we're going to be getting an unpause here in just a moment, getting ready for game 3. Oh man, it's going to be good. Going to be good. Chessie, as usual, on this Keeper of the Forest, definitely going to be making his way into the jungle down here. And the story of the game is really going to be how farmed Slicks is going to get, as opposed to how farmed this Mage Bane is going to get. And I want to point out right there that Moon Meander actually used his Shell Surf to get out to the lane just a little bit faster. And with that Shell Surf, he was able to get out there, you know, just before he would normally be able to. And that's going to enable him to get over here into this location, drop this ward even earlier. Look at him. He's going to use his Shell Surf again. Reckless regard for his mana, because he's going to go ahead and go to town after this. He just wants to get out there as fast as humanly possible, and that's exactly what he's going to be able to do. Drops the ward. He's going to make his way back into the town right now using that Shell Surf even one more time, get that mana regen, and I love that. We often see times where players might buy boots first. Buy boots first and sell them back before the 15-second time window does come up, and just to get out there even faster. I'm surprised that Moon, in fact, did not do that. But, well, actually, he might have. I might not have even seen that. It looks like he did, as he did just meet up with that cat carrier right there. So it looks like that is, in fact, what he did. So beautiful play there by Moon. I'm sorry I didn't even catch those boots, but right here we have the Hellborn team looking like they want to go ahead and get this party started right. No skills currently selected for Slicks, so he's not got the Demon Hands yet. I wouldn't expect to see those Demon Hands at level 1 anyway. You want to get that Soul Steal going, and it's actually looking like it's going to be a little bit different lane setup than you might have expected up here. Riser on that solo, Moravius on the mid solo, going to be against the Nymphora and Fade mid, with Haxoryn actually in the bottom lane. So man, these are some crazy meta teams, or crazy meta lanes. I'm going to completely stop predicting where these lanes are going to go, because they are all over the place. It's going to be a Soul Stealer, Behemoth, Slither tri-lane. Like, I don't think in 1,000 years I could have predicted that one. So Slicks and Haxoryn definitely going to be going one-on-one here. Oh, just kidding. There's a Behemoth and a Slither over there. I'm not sure if Behemoth has actually been revealed. So right now the Legion team could be a little bit scared, not exactly knowing where that Behemoth is, but this is going to give the advantage to the Fade in the middle lane. We'll see if there's going to be any lane rotation to try to get that Haxoryn on the Mage Bane, the farm that he wants. Haxoryn actually taking a poison spray there from the Slither, going to be able to take a little bit of damage, but he's got plenty of trees. We actually see that he was given some trees by Franzi playing that Nymphora. So with that Fade actually taking a little bit of harassment there in the mid. So Moravius, knowing that he's a big tanky guy to begin with, going to be able to use some of that tanking potential to try to put out as much damage as possible. Nymphora actually taking even more pressure there from Moravius, so doing a fantastic job right there. Mage Bane in the bottom lane taking a lot of pressure right now, as the Mage Bane is actually going to fall victim to a fissure and another poison spray right there. Looks like Slither and Behemoth might be looking to rotate mid though. They've come down here, they've give the nice advantage to Slicks, and then they're going to go ahead and retreat. So Slick's going to be level 3 by the time this Mage Bane does go ahead and poke his face up here And that's what I like to see. That's what you like to see out of these teams. You don't necessarily run the tri-lane the entire time. You give your carry a significant advantage, and then you go roam. So that's exactly what's going to happen here. Slither and Behemoth trying to make their way mid. Might want to go ahead and do something over there. Up here up top, Bubbles and Moon Meander going head-to-head with Pharaoh. The Hasted Nymph are going to come in right now, though, with that shield already there. The Pharaoh is going to be able to take a lot of damage, but the Bubbles and the Nymphora might be able to run him down. A nice wall going to come up from Pharaoh right there, pushing the heroes back and providing a little bit of a block right there so that they weren't able to get vision and attack him. So a beautiful job by Pharaoh, even potioning up while he was in there, knowing immediately after he dropped that wall that the players were not going to be able to get in there. So nice job. A poison spray coming in from Fade right now, going to take the counter stun onto Flux right there. And so the Slither is going to be the only one pressuring Fade for the time being, but not exactly going to get the kill right there. But this is actually giving Haxorn the time that he needs to make his way up into this lane and get some of that experience that he so desperately needs. This actually reminds me a lot of the game that we saw in Game 1, where Haxorn was that short lane solo against with Madman against that tri-lane. Definitely similarities here, as he is level 3 now. He's got that blink similar to that stock escape mechanism. So, but with this Madman, Magebane, not Madman. He's got the power supply now, which is very, very nice. With the Slither, it's going to be spamming that poison spray, and with the Soul Stealer that's got those hands that he's going to spam, but Magebane could be in a little bit of trouble right there. It looked like they saw them for just a brief second, but in the mid lane, we actually have Flux putting out a little bit of pressure onto the Nymphora once again, but taking counter pressure of his own. Top lane, Pharaoh actually going to be chasing down this Bubbles once again. Moon Meander in no real danger right here. He's got the Shell Surf. He's going to be able to use that, and that's the last of Pharaoh's mana right there. So not going to happen. Poison Spray whiffing right there onto Magebane, so not going to happen there either. Both these teams really trying to get that advantage that they're looking for, but all these players playing very well to make sure that they're not dying too early. Bloodlust not been achieved here at 4 minutes into the game. So they're going to circle around once more, might be looking for a gank in that mid lane. But Magebane actually blinking over there and did break the mana pot. So they're only being level 1, does not have that toxicity effect just yet. So Magebane with not a whole lot to fear, knowing that that poison spray was still on cooldown from that whiff. So able to very effectively break that mana pot, burn a little bit of mana right there, and get out of there safely. Haxorn doing a beautiful job of digging himself deep into these trees right here, getting that experience, and really not being in too much danger. Up here we do have Chessie just going to work, doing his tree thing. Level 5 now, could be circling around for a kill on this Pharaoh, and that's actually what he's doing. We'll see how good the micro is going to be in just a second here, but the trees actually respawn, and that was not very good timing there for our good friend Chessie on the Keeper of the Fours, being betrayed by his own brothers and sisters as they did force him a little bit further out into the lane than he wanted. Not able to get the correct angle, but pressure now being applied with that Ring of the Teacher Soul Stealer, the Behemoth and the Slither now roaming mid once again. But this Soul Stealer going to be able to continue to eliminate these waves. The Ring of the Teacher providing the armor aura to the creeps and providing the mana regen that Slicks needs here on the Soul Stealer to really get these creeps, get these Demon Hands landed consistently, and keep the pressure on the tower. He wants to be able to force the Magebane out of the lane, and he's going to choose to do that by putting pressure on the tower. Although the the Behemoth and the Slither right there taking a little bit of pressure, and the pressure being returned right there. The Behemoth actually going to take the first fall right there. Is the Fade going to be able to get the Burning Shadows and the coL to go ahead and get that first blood? Moon Meander going to come in. He's going to whiff that Shell Surf, but with the good return right there, the Kelp Field does come down, and that is a 3-for-0 trade right there by Complexity. The first blood attempt there by the TT Esports Roamers not going to happen. Beautiful stuns there by our Nymphora being played by Franzi, and a beautiful play there by Fade as well. Definitely not what you want to have happen. 3-for-0. Moon Meander did have to TP in from top lane, and Chessie did have to make his way over from the jungle to try to reassure them. Just come over there and give them a little bit of sympathy pats on the head after it was all done. So they did miss a little bit of farm right there, but already we have a 1,500 gold lead and a 2,500 experience lead for the Complexity team, looking very good right now. The big problem is this Magebane. The farm is there, It's not on the right players, though. This Mage Bane's getting not awful levels, but he's not getting the farm that he needs. Mage Bane doesn't care about levels. He can be level 9 or level 17. The difference isn't that gigantic. What he needs is 6,000 gold to go ahead and get his farm started. Now Slicks, on the other hand, he wants levels, he wants farm, and he's getting them. Already level 6, very close to level 7 now, as he's putting pressure on this tower, already at 400 gold per minute. Slicks is the only thing keeping the TT Esports relatively even with their opponents right now. And once again, we have the Behemoth coming in against a solo Nymphora right now. Francie could be in a little bit of trouble up lane. Up in the top, though, the Keeper of the Forest, not even there, actually. That was actually Bubbles and Fade. Fade making use of that ultimate as Nymphora is going to get caught out mid. Moravius going to get that kill there on Flux in the bottom lane. The tower does fall as Slicks and Slither meet up to make that one, to take that one out. Slicks continuing to get his farm up all the way up to 437 GPM now. Chessie in the jungle right now is level 7. I don't know if there's been a whole lot that Chessie's been involved in. If we actually take a look at the score, it's 0-0-0, so not a whole lot of involvement just yet. You want to get that tree pushing. You want to get that tree using that ult. So we'll see when Chessie does go ahead and start doing that. Slither getting deep into the Legion Forest right now. Only level 2s compared to the level 5 support on the other side, but the stacks are there. This is what I'm talking about with Slicks. His team's going to be completely focused around trying to build that hero up. And that is exactly what they're doing right there, getting as many stacks as possible, knowing that Slicks can easily come in and take those out. Slicks now all the way up to 470 GPM, but because this tower is pushed, Haxorn feeling a little bit safer right now. Going to be able to come in and start getting some last hits of his own. 7 and 4 CS now, only at 100 GPM though, lower than the Nymphora, not where you want to be. The solo Slither deep in the jungle, like we said, is able to get caught out by the Fade. Yeah, the Burning Shadows was gone, excuse me, the Reflection was gone ahead and used there, so did happen in the top lane. The root did come out there from Chessie on that Keeper of the Forest. They were able to go ahead and take out Riser, playing that Pharaoh and following up on that. They're going to be able to get that push. That tower is going to be falling. And Moonmeander actually doing pretty damn well up here against Riser. If we take a look, 210 GPM versus 270. Moon a level higher, going to be almost 2 levels higher. Flux actually pulling in Fade right there, wants to try to get a little bit done. Behemoth going to come in, gets a good stun, but not a perfect stun off right there. And the nice follow-up Zeal from Nymphora, going to be able to save his teammate's life. Although the Pharaoh rocket comes out, Riser with that level 4 rocket is able to get the kill. A beautiful snipe right there. Beacon not exactly happy about that one. Up in the top lane, Slicks has gone ahead and rotated, knowing that this is now the farm lane with that first tier tower already being pushed down. Slither's going to go ahead and rotate up here as well after this tower is killed in mid, start stacking the top jungle, and so this game has gone ahead and rotated a little bit. Mage Bane now able to farm the bottom lane. Six going to move to the top lane. Actually going to be caught out a little bit there by Bubbles, although does not have a kelp field for the time being. Fade coming in, Invis right now, wants to be able to get the opener, gets the stun off on Pharaoh and on the Slither. Slither falls very quickly. Pharaoh actually going to go ahead and try to turn it around onto the Nymphora, but Moonmeander coming in, no kelp field just yet. Kelp field is now up, but right now the tree is trying to get into position. Moonmeander going to go ahead and hold on to that cooldown for as long as possible, but Slick's in a ton of trouble right now. The auto attack to finish him off comes out. Moonmeander with the backhanded pimp taunt right there. Even going to be able to make his way up and try to take out Flux, but Flux has a ton of life still. With all of his cooldowns down, Moonmeander is actually in a ton of trouble and overextending there as Moravius does get the kill with the assistance from the Behemoth, but the hasted Fade, or actually not even hasted Fade, just very fast Fade with that mana from Nymphora comes in and is able to take out Moravius on the Flux. The push continuing here in the mid as Chessie's minions come out in the bottom lane, though. Slither, Waitalaba taking some pressure. The portal comes in here from Slicks, wants to be able to get those demon hands, only able to hit one. Fade going to come in with the big coL and Burning Shadows, going to be able to take out that Slither after all. Behemoth tries to go for the blind fissure, not quite going to happen, and it looks like the Legion team is going to be able to escape for the time being. Tree now has that root up, going to be dropping the root right there. Slicks is the only one caught by it. Another Burning Shadows comes in from Fade, and the ult comes out, the mana rift from Mage Bane to finish him off. Slicks is now having a very bad day. Flux coming in, he's going to be able to activate that ult, catches out the Nymphora. The Pharaoh ult used as well. The Behemoth turns it around with a little bit of a fissure, but not before the tree is able to get over there. Behemoth being chased by all those tree minions. Fade ult reactivated right now. Slither here once again, but definitely not in the best of positions. Fade wants so bad to open on him, and he is going to open up right there, but now Fade has to try to return, and body blocks coming out right now from Keeper of the Forest. We did actually have Behemoth being caught out by Moon Meander. Kelpfield was used right there, as well as Haxorn is here trying to put out as much damage as he can. Moon trying to escape, and he is going to be able to go ahead and shell surf on out of there. Rocket going to be able to hit, but Moon, knowing he's not going to be able to get down from that direction, going to go ahead and get next to these dragons. Wants the Hellfire to be absorbed as much as possible. Nymphora actually coming in with a beautiful port. Pharaoh and Flux both going to fall. Huge bait right there. Beautiful team coordination being shown by the Complexity players. Absolutely gorgeous bait right there by Moon Meander. Oh my god, that was beautiful. If we take a look at the team stats now, 7,700 gold lead, 8,500 experience lead now for the Complexity players. The Behemoth even getting caught out once again. Keeper of the Forest is going to take that one home. The portal key already finished. Yeah, Breaky, I could not say it any better myself. It is indeed a massacre. Mage Bane even starting to get his farm up to 230 GPM now, continuing to farm this bottom lane, and Slicks just died twice right there. 0-2 and 0 at this point. Oh, Slicks, you were looking so strong, but this is the problem with Soul Stealer. If you're not able to protected farm until you get those absolutely crucial items, talking about a shrunken head, talking about a portal key, maybe even something like a Geometer's Bane, you can die so easily. There's no escape mechanisms, there's no slows, no stuns. You are there for pure positioning, pure raw damage output, and when he's getting into those fights with stuns coming out from the Fade, with stuns coming from the Nymphora, ults coming from Bubbles, coming from Tree, Slicks is in such a rough position. He simply doesn't have the support around him to deal with that. And so that's really the problem right here. Fade now invisible in the woods. Gonna wait until Slicks goes ahead and engages those. Wants all the damage to be there as possible. The Illusion Rune even activated as well. Moon Meander there for the assist, but not even needed, as B-Kid is going to take out Slicks in that situation. The Flux ult going ahead and is used there, as Fade's gonna try to make his way out of there. Right now, Moon Meander going to go ahead and drop that Kelp Field, catching two players, not able to quite get that Behemoth. The Song of the Sea and the Shell Surf right there used to try to get the kill onto that Slither, but not quite, as Moon Meander is going to go ahead and portal key back on out of there, but he's back into the fight now. Wants to be able to man up with this Flux. Song of the Sea up in just a second, but not quite enough. The Pharaoh does actually get the Nymphora right there, but yeah, Moon Meander was able to get the Behemoth. Oh my gosh. Franzi showing a little bit of frustration right there, as Pharaoh is focusing a lot of attention on a very vulnerable level 8 Nymphora. At the same time though, Haxorn is teamed up with Chessie in the bottom lane down here to go ahead and get this tower. GG's come out as the concedes as well. TT Esports falls 2-1 in this series. Oh man, beautiful play there by Complexity. Haxorn definitely did not have a perfect game down there in that bottom lane, but as a 1v3 tri-lane goes, I think he did a fantastic job. Did not die at all, got the experience that he needed, wasn't able to get a ton of gold, but as soon as that tower was gone, able to get that going. And in the mid lane, that Nymphora and Fade getting that 3-0 start. Oh my god, that was so important right there. 15-minute concede comes out. Complexity showing their strength in this series. Alrighty, well, this has been Complexity Scrims cast here, brought to you by Beef. I am your casting host, Beef, of course. And we are going to be going on a quick break right now for lunch. Help me. I'm going to go make some tea because I need my voice. If I'm going to be here casting these games for you all the time, right? So that is what we're going to do. Thank you very much to Complexity for helping to put this on. And thank you to the viewers for being here today. Like I said, we're going to take a break. I'm not quite sure on how long that's going to be, but we'll be back a little bit later today with another cast or two. Thank you very much. I'll leave the stream on for the time being unless I get word that it's going to be a little bit longer than I expected. But thank you. We will be back soon.